Emerson Street, Southwood Park, Fredericton, New Brunswick, July the 6th, 2014, day after Hurricane Arthur. Trees everywhere. A lot of these trees have been cut by now. Parts of them cut. Most of them were laying across the road. This tree here was blocking quite a bit of the road at one time. And this tree here, you can see how it was blown, ripped right up out of the ground by its roots. It's a very big, massive hardwood tree. And as I pan, this is the house across the street. Another great big tree, ripped up by the roots. What I'm going to do is this is down Emerson Street here. What I'm slowly going to do is I'm going to zoom in, and you'll be able to see how many trees are fallen along this street here. All the way down the street. There's a tree at the end of the street, where the street goes around a turn, ripped up by the roots. I'll slowly zoom back, and you can see how the trees are laying out on the streets. And you have to remember, this is after several hours of cleanup. So it was a lot worse than this 5 or 6 hours ago. Now here's a tree here that was ripped out of the ground by the roots. And a significant amount of the tree is laying on Hathaway Street in Southwood Park, Fredericton, New Brunswick. As you can see, they've got tape across the street, and the reason why it's taped off and that nobody has cleaned any of this tree up off the road yet, it's because it's laying on power lines. You can see the power lines there. When the tree went down, it took down the power lines. Ripped right out of the ground by the roots. Just walking up Emerson now. Up Emerson Drive. Go past a few uprooted trees. Worst storm that has ever hit Fredericton, New Brunswick. Ripped trees out of the ground, just like it was pulling carrots out of a garden. There's another one there. Nice big hardwood tree.
Did you get your stuff already?
Another tree ripped out by the roots. Now there's a tree there that was laying across the lawn, and that one there has since been cut up. It's a little further up Emerson Drive. And we'll just walk past this great big tree here that's on the ground, and I guess we'll just look across the street. Oh, look! Another tree ripped out by the roots. And look! Another tree. And let's just move the camera over here a bit. Oh, look! 2 more trees ripped out by the roots. Unfortunately for the property owners, each one of these trees is has fallen upon a house. This is Emerson Street coming down the other way. Two trees side by side there, both on houses, and just across the street, another great big tree. This will just give you some idea as to the what the height of that tree was. Back around, something must have blown up the street, because there's trees down in other parts of the city, but in other parts of the city it's a tree here, a tree there, or whatever. But along this street here, it's practically every single yard. That's crazy. I can stand in one spot and just turn around like I just did there and do a circle, and there's 5 or 6 trees. This here, you can just see the stump of it now. There was a crew here earlier today, and this tree was actually on the roof of that house. Luckily there was very minimal damage done to the house, and they had a tree cutting company come over this morning and take that tree down. All it remains is the stump of the tree. However, you can see the big huge mound of earth that was ripped up when the tree went down. I don't know if this camera can really capture it, but that is a sizable mound of earth. And another tree on the road. Here a tree, there a tree, everywhere tree. And here's the tree here that was that's been cleaned up. They started to clean up on this tree. They've cut it up a bit, cut the branches off it, and hauled away some of the brush. Tree down here in this yard, and another tree right there. Trees down everywhere. Like I said, It's like the wind blew down this street, ripped all the trees out by the roots, and it just ripped them out like pulling carrots out of a garden. Luckily though, the damage seems to be quite minimal. There doesn't really seem to be any cars damaged. The houses that trees have fallen on seem to have sustained minimal damage at most. So that's a good thing. But this was one crazy, scary, destructive storm. As I go further down the street, more trees. This white car here was covered by that tree. Quite a bit of that tree was cut. Branches and stuff that were laying on top of the car have been cut and removed, so the tree is no longer laying on the car. Surprisingly, for a car that just had a great big hardwood tree laying on it, there's hardly any damage to it at all. I don't understand how a great big heavy tree like that one could fall on a car with a glass roof. Anyway, hardly any damage to that car at all.